Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some Star Wars Battlefront 2 news, because the news of August are starting to roll in, with the first transmission going over the star card changes that will be coming in the August update. So first of all, it does confirm that the update in August comes out on August 28th, which is actually the day after my birthday. So that's when the August update is coming out, and except for the star card changes, we don't know exactly what that update will contain. But these star card changes they are talking about is of course the health on kill being passive. So the first step is that they've decided to move all the health on kill effects to a passive ability on the actual hero. So you no longer need to have that star card equipped in order to get health back. I think it does not apply to Bosk, since obviously he already has like a passive health regeneration going all the way up to full. I don't think they specifically mentioned Bosk here, but just keep in mind that I think this applies to all heroes except Bosk. So what happens to the old star cards? Well, they are being renamed and given new effects. So each hero except for Bosk has received a brand new star card that will be coming out on August 28th. So basically, if you had the old star card, I think this one will just be transferred over. So if you had health on kill star card on epic, which I'm assuming most of you did, you will now have the new star card on epic level. So first of all, just a quick little clarification here from Guillaume, that the health on kill effect will be like the epic star card. So that means that the passive effect will be 20 for killing normal troopers or 100 for killing heroes. So it doesn't matter what kind of star card you had previously, all the health on kill passive effects will be like the old epic star cards. They do actually specifically say this means that coming within this month's update, all heroes will have health on kill as a passive ability, so it might actually apply to Bosk when I think about it. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess we'll see in August. I think he's going to be a bit of a beast if that is true. So if we're talking about the new star cards, I wanted to quickly go over each hero's star card just to give them a brief mention of what they do. But my overall thought is that it's some pretty unique star cards, but they're not seemingly OP, so I don't think any of these will be like, oh, you need to have the star card on at all times. Maybe for some of them, but it's tricky to say. So I think these are some star cards that some of them will be used a lot, some of them might not be used a lot. So starting off with Boba Fett, his new star card gives him faster ability cooldowns while he is in the air, but his health regeneration starts 1.5 seconds later. So a nice little trade-off there. I like the fact that it's not just making him stronger, but it's basically a trade-off. You got to choose, do you want faster cooldowns or better health regeneration? For Vader, he gets stamina back when killing an enemy, so he can really recreate some of those Rogue One moments if he's fighting against a lot of troopers. He does already have quite a lot of stamina, but could be a useful card potentially. As for Palpatine, he gets a new star card where each extra target hit by the chain lightning will reduce its cooldown by 0.25 seconds to a maximum. This effect resets when Palpatine is defeated. The maximum part is basically dependent on the rarity of your star card, so I'm not sure what the maximum will be. I can't imagine him having like a 2-second cooldown on the chain lightning, so it might just be like, I don't know, 2-3 seconds shorter cooldown. We'll see, but I still think it sounds like a pretty interesting star card, although it has the potential of making the better players even better by them basically steamrolling. As for Iden, her stun droid will reveal enemies in 25-meter radius to all allies for a short time. So a bit of a team play star card, we'll see how good that's gonna be. Kylo Ren gets a pretty interesting one, where after he uses Frenzy, his lightsaber damage is increased for 6 seconds. I think that's gonna be really good in heroes versus villains. Jump in with Frenzy and then just keep slashing with your lightsaber afterwards to do some insane damage. For Darth Maul, if Darth Maul hits 4 enemies with spin attack within a short time, his spin attack recharge will be 75% faster for 4 seconds. I think this could be really interesting, especially if you combine that with him having more spin attack charges and so on, because in that case you might be able to basically spam spin attack over and over and over, since it's going to be so fast recharge. I'm not sure what they mean within short time. Does that mean that you can like do 2 spin attacks and hit 4 enemies, 3 spin attacks and hit 4 enemies, or how short is that time period? It might also be that that short time number is the one that changes by the star card rarity. So I think this one could be really good, but depends on the actual numbers. For Grievous, for every 10% health missing, General Grievous gains damage reduction, but his health regeneration speed is cut in half. So also a star card that I find hard to know how good it's gonna be before I actually try it out. For Dooku, every 15 seconds, Dooku's base attack will be a critical strike, dealing extra damage. This cooldown is reduced by 1 second for every successful lightsaber attack. So this almost reminds me of some MMORPG attacks where basically your first attack will do extra damage. So I think if you manage to hit someone in the back every 15 seconds, that's gonna do some serious damage. For Phasma, every time she kills an enemy, Captain Phasma and friendly troopers around her gain a permanent 3% decrease to their blaster overheat per bolt to a maximum. This effect resets when Phasma is defeated. So the maximum is again dependent on the actual rarity. So a lot of these are hard to judge before we get the actual numbers. For Chewie, every time Chewie deals a threshold of 200 combined damage with any ability, he gains 2% damage reduction to a maximum. This effect resets after Chewbacca is defeated. I think this is mostly gonna be applied with the charge slam, because doing 200 damage with just the bowcaster, if that even counts as an ability, is pretty tricky, I think, unless you hit all 5 of them overcharged at the same time. For Solo, his card gives him an extra dodge ability charge, but all cooldowns are increased. I kinda like having the detonite charge as fast as possible, so I'm not sure how much I'm gonna like this ability. For Leia, if she is within 15 meters of 2 friendly units, Leia and her close allies will take reduced damage. Not sure what I like about the light side getting more tankiness buffs. Well, they already have Yoda and Finn, but hopefully it won't be too bad. For Lando, every enemy trooper defeated or 100 damage to villains reduces the heat per shot of Lando's X8 Night Sniper permanently by 2% to a maximum. This effect resets when Lando is defeated. For Luke, every trooper defeated or 200 damage to heroes increases Luke's lightsaber damage by 2 to a maximum. This effect resets after Luke is defeated. So that definitely makes him a lot more viable in like heroes versus villains. You just gotta make sure to stay alive basically to get that extra damage. Rey gets an extra dodge ability charge, but her stamina drains faster. So again, might be good, but depends on the numbers. For Yoda, when the bonus health of presence depletes, it heals for some of the damage it prevented, but its cooldown is increased by 13 seconds. So has the potential to make Yoda even tankier, which might be an issue since he is really strong, but I still do think that it's really hard to judge before we get to see the numbers. I am a little bit worried about this and Leia's star card, but we'll see when they actually come out. For Obi-Wan, after blocking 10 blaster bolts, 2 abilities or lightsaber attacks with his block, Obi-Wan gains a permanent reduction of 2% to all his stamina cost to a maximum. This effect resets when Obi-Wan is defeated. And for Anakin, every enemy trooper defeat or 200 damage to villains decreases all of Anakin Skywalker's stamina costs by 2% to a maximum, and this effect also resets after Anakin is defeated. And lastly, Finn. During Undercover Team, Finn will grant a damage reduction of 2% for each trooper defeated or 100 damage to villains to a maximum to all friendlies affected. This bonus stays for the next use of the ability but resets when Finn is defeated. So again, another kind of like health team buff for the light side. I am a little bit worried about that, to be honest, but we'll see. Overall, I think there's some good unique star cards here, but like I've said 10 times already, it all depends on what kind of numbers they have. Some of them could be completely useless, some of them could be pretty well balanced, and some of them could be straight up OP, depending on how high that maximum level will be. Are we talking like 50% damage reductions, or are we just talking 10 or 20%? Same thing goes for all of those that have a maximum. And lastly, just a quick clarification that yes, Yoda will get health back on a normal kill and not just unleash. So that, coupled with the potentially increased buff, makes me a little bit worried that Yoda is gonna be a pain to deal with right now in Galactic Assault or Capital Supremacy, but well, we'll have to wait and see. But that's all I've got for you today. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what you think about these star card changes, and do you have any favorites or star cards that you don't think you will use out of all of these new ones? I'm looking forward to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.